The crackle of burning torches is the only noise that breaks the silence inside an ancient stone-built temple in a distant region. Torchfire is also the only source of ambient light where two priests study papyrus on a table. Both men wear coats made of rustic fabric and worn-out sandals, showing the little importance they give to material issues. After hours of reading, the concentration of the religious is broken by the arrival of a boy, who communicates a message to them. "Excuse me, the villagers arrived with their offerings." "Ask them to come in," concedes one of the priests, precisely one who has the most serene and kind face, unlike his colleague, whose expression is cold and his eyes disguised. As requested, about 15 people enter the room, carrying several bags of food. One of the villagers comes forward and addresses the religious who allow the group to enter. "Greetings, Master Kalyan. We bring you food because you have always comforted us with your teachings, your wisdom. We owe much of our peace and prosperity to your advice and guidance. We also bring some of our daughters of good age, should you wish to marry one of them," the man adds, waving 4 young girls in front of the villagers. Kalyan looks at them with a small smile, nods and responds. "They are very beautiful indeed and would certainly make any man happy, but for the moment all my energies are directed to my studies and my mental improvement. Anyway, thank you very much for all this attention." Once the purpose of the visit is accomplished, the villagers leave. Kalyan addresses his colleague, who was watching everything, and nods with satisfaction. "Dear Nurin, we have food for 2 months of study at least." However, Kalyan's companion is not satisfied. "I will be never loved by people as you are. No one brings me offerings or thanks," says Nurin, "though I do the same work as you." "Don't be depressed, friend," comforts Kalyan. "Over time, villagers will recognize your qualities." "That's the point, colleague," says Nurin. "They don't recognize my qualities because I don't have them. I wish I was different, but I envy you. I hate you for being so loved. All this food you have earned, I would want everything for me, and I would not share with you as you are doing to me. I would marry the rich merchant's daughter. I would never deny his offer of marriage to her. I really wanted to have your detachment and purity, but I can't." His colleague's sudden burst of anger surprises Kalyan, who stands motionless for a few seconds, looking at Nurin without reaction. The reason for Kalyan's surprise is not his extreme sincerity, as it is one of the basic requirements for priestly activity. The heart of the clergyman should be a book open to everyone. What disturbs Kalyan most is the forcefulness of the conclusions about his own character expressed by his temple companion. But soon he responds in a conciliatory manner, as is his way. "Every human being has kindness within himself, even if hidden. When you came to Back Temple, you wanted to improve your essence. Don't give up. Look hard for the good that exists in you and you'll find it." Nurin reflects for a moment on the words of his interlocutor and with little courage turns to the papyrus he was studying. He keeps silent until nightfall as he retreats to his accommodations in a dark, stuffy room full of scattered old objects. In protection of his privacy, Nurin walks to a large glass jar where small branches of a plant, Akanda iboga, are stored. The cleric lights a small pile of wood and puts a kettle of water hanging over the fire. Before boiling begins, Nurin dips a few leaves of the plant into the water and waits for the infusion to take place. When the tea is ready, the priest drinks it slowly. He sits in an armchair made of pillows and stands staring into a space for a long time. About 2 hours later, the priest returns to the main hall of the temple, where Kalyan is meditating, sitting in the proper position according to the tradition of his religion. Nuren sits next to him and starts to meditate too, but staring at his colleague without Callion realizing it, for he is facing himself almost in trance. The hours pass in the apparent tranquility of the temple. The next morning, Nuren goes out to walk beside a stream near the temple. After a short walk, he reaches the base of a hill, largely made up of rock formations about 15 meters high. Nuren stops in front of an opening in the middle of the rocks, which apparently deepens into the earth. The cleric stands for a few minutes between the stream and the cave and looks for a long time into the darkness inside the opening. Deep in the obscurity, he sees a strange glow, the source of which Nuren knows he will soon discover. He takes a push out of his rope, from where he pours a dust on one of the rocks. Then he picks some of the water from the stream by hand and pours it into the dust, producing a kind of dark pigment. With a twig, Nuren mixes well the paste that resulted from the blend and, while looking at his own reflection in the warm waters of the stream, says to himself, "Don't worry, Callion, your colleague is no longer disoriented. Now I know the way to go." While muttering these words, Nuren makes an inscription on the rock with the stick. This is how Ianny's story begins. A story full of action and unexpected tribulations, with a very complicated adoptive father, a very loving adoptive mother, a friend at all times, a very jealous half-brother, a guru full of mysteries, a certain clown, pursuits, kidnapping, and dark forces. Ianny is a 6-year-old boy with special needs admitted to a shelter called Constanza's house. He suffered serious neurological damage as a result of an attempted drowning by his stepfather, who mistreated him on a daily basis. At the institution, everyone loves Ianny and he can finally grow up in a healthy and happy environment. Heitor, the director of Constanza's house, and his companion Eleonora adopted Ianny and fight to arrange a very expensive neurological surgery to cure the boy. But they face the fierce resistance of Stuart, Heitor's biological son, who hates Ianny and creates diabolical intrigues to prevent the boy's surgery from taking place. Stuart's plots to impair Ianny begin to involve his father's activities and end up leading Heitor to desperate situations, including involving legal proceedings and prison, culminating in his bankruptcy and demoralization. Santiago, a great friend of Heitor, uncovers Stuart's deceitful maneuvers, but in an attempt to prevent him from succeeding in overthrowing his own father, he ends up taking paths far beyond imagination, in which the notions of matter, time, energy, and the good-evil dichotomy will be in focus. However, when everything is lost, the outcome will depend on Ianny's true essence. If you liked this book trailer, give it a like and share it. You can read this story in full in the ebook All for Ianny by George M. It's for sale on the Amazon website. Just write the title of the ebook in the search area and you will have access to the first pages and you can download it. Important, the ebook has no illustrations. It contains a running test designed for those who enjoy reading stories that entertain and make people think.